This next demonstration will take us through the new SYSPRO iPhone application. What I'm simply going to do is click on the SYSPRO application. When the application loads, we will see a set of news feeds that we can look into. There's a few news feeds being pulled directly from our syspro.com site. We can now move into the charting area, where we can see a list of charts that are available to us. We'll first have a look at the inventory valuation chart. What this is doing a web service query to our SYSPRO application server and retrieving all information for specific warehouses. We can actually scroll using our finger. We can do pinching if required, and what we could also do is flip the iPhone so that we can see that in a landscape environment. As I mentioned before, we could do pinching as well. If we wanted to see some other chart information, we simply flip back to our charts main menu, and in there we can see a list of charts. We can have a look at the sales orders taken, for instance. That again is doing a query to our SYSPRO application server to retrieve the sales order information. We can see we've done $256,000 today. Yesterday we did 48,000, and today we've actually done 84,000 worth of sales orders. We can move into our purchase order commitment chart, for instance, and we could see our actual versus our budget information. We could have a look at lost sales for today and for yesterday. We could also dive into our current bank balances at any point in time. If we needed to find information about particular customers, suppliers, or contacts, we're simply going to click on the search button. When the search comes up, we're simply going to click on the search text box and type in the customer name. In this case it's BMW, and simply hit the search button. That again will do a query to our SYSPRO application server and list out all customers that match the description BMW. By clicking on that particular item, the system will then bring back more detailed information about that customer. Here we can see the mobile number, the work telephone number, the email address, as well as some addresses. By clicking on the actual work telephone number, it will actually use your mobile phone to make a call to that particular customer. We could dive down into the invoices if need be and see all the invoices that are outstanding for this particular customer. We could actually also view the aging chart. Okay, if you wanted to search on supplier information, what you simply do is click on the search again, remove the BMW customer code, click on the suppliers, and then simply type in the name of the supplier that you're looking for. In this case, we're looking for steel suppliers. I'm going to click on the search button. That again will return to us a set of steel suppliers. Click on the supplier information, and that will now do a query to the system to return back to us more detailed supplier information. Here we can see the supplier's telephone number, his fax, his email address, and what we could also see is a list of invoices that he has. And we can see that's the invoice number, that's the due date, and those are the actual values for that particular invoice. We could also see a chart for this particular supplier showing all the previous purchase months, all the previous purchase values that he's made in various different months. We could also search for particular stock codes. Again, simply remove the current search criteria, click on stock code, and we might be looking for something called bicycle. Simply click on the search button. That will then search for all stock codes that contain the characters BIC. We could now click on the bicycle pump, for example. That would return to us more information about that particular stock code. Now what we can actually see now is a long description, who's the supplier, what the price is, the lead time for this particular stock code. We can actually see various different quantities available to us in all the different warehouses. For instance, that's the combined quantity available, quantity on hand, in inspection, etc. We could look at a specific warehouse. We could now look at the Eastern warehouse and have a look at what quantities we have on hand. Lastly, what we can do if we wanted to search on particular contacts is simply remove whatever's in the search, click on contacts, and we can search for a particular contact name. In this case it's going to be James, and we'll be able to click on the search button. Here we can see we have a number of different James, a James Rice, a James Paddington, a James, and a James Foreman. We're simply going to select James Paddington, and again the system's going to query more detailed information about that particular contact, James Paddington. And here we have James Paddington's work number, home phone number, mobile number. We could simply click on that particular contact to make a call. We could click on that particular user's email address if he had one and actually send an email off to that particular user. And what we can do is also just click on the actual address to see more information, and that will actually do a Google Maps call and show that map in Google Maps. Okay, to go back to the application, we would simply close out of the application and click back on the SYSPRO application, and the SYSPRO iPhone application has remembered where you were last at. We could also choose to view activities. Currently this user does not have any activities, but if you did, every single one of the activities would be displayed against this contact. And this concludes the presentation on the SYSPRO iPhone application.